Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game, and today I'm going to share with you my review of Soul Hackers 2. Let's check it out. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hallowed Be Thy Game. Ren here, and I am so overjoyed to share with you my review of Soul Hackers 2. Atlus was kind enough to send me over a review code, but all thoughts shared today are my own, and this game was reviewed on the PS5. Soul Hackers 2 is a distinct entry in the Megaton universe as it forges its own aesthetic and unique iteration of the god-tier press-turn battle system. For longtime viewers of the channel, you will know how much of a cuckoo bananas fan I am of the Persona and SMT series, being by far and away my favorite turn-based JRPGs. Soul Hackers 2 had quite the task to match up to this series, and I not only found that it succeeds in that endeavor, but it also is the perfect entry point to fans of either SMT or Persona to branch into the other, respectively. Story and characters. Right from the start, we are introduced to Ringo as she's created. Ringo is an AI construct created by Aeon and injected into a human body to join up with her twin Fig to stop the apocalypse. Soul Hackers 2 wastes no time hitting the ground running with its story, and this pace is matched by the mature and darker story beats that are renowned in the SMT mainline series. Looking at the bright and flashy cyberpunk aesthetic to the game, I originally expected the game to be closer in tone to like Persona or even maybe Devil Survivor 2, but I found that there were very mature and dark themes that were not only mentioned but explored in the main questline, as well as the other smaller side quests throughout the game. It was much appreciated because as a fan of the original, I was a little worried that the dystopian and eerie vibe of the original wouldn't be as prevalent in the story, but it was. Now, I will preface this that the game is filled with some fun, lighthearted moments, but there is genuinely some edgy topics and scenes that play out in this surprisingly violent game. And heck yeah, I'm all about it. I was really happy to see the high stakes come back with Soul Hackers 2. It's playing for keeps, my friends, and the main party is very much at risk. Ringo and Fig pair up with a rather unlikely group of heroes. And I love this so much. Everyone is very much an adult, and some of the party members outright just hate each other. Cyberpunk Tokyo is run by two warring factions of devil summoner gangs, and some of the party members are not from the same side of town, if you get what I'm saying. Ringo, Arrow, Milady, Saizo, and with Fig's support, they face off against the end of mankind, and man, we're gonna watch that sucker burn. The voice actors even crushed it. There's just not a weak link in the chain, including the quest givers and vendors. The game doesn't overstay its welcome, and with the fast-paced story, it always had me wanting to know what was going to happen next. Music and presentation. This should come as a shock to no one, but the music does in fact slap a little too hard, and god dang that I love this game's soundtrack. Which is good because you're going to be listening to the theme of the Soul Matrix for a hot minute, but we're going to cover that in a little bit. The main theme is immediately getting your adrenaline flowing, and with some normal battle themes that keep you wanting to push further and further into the dungeon. There wasn't a song that I felt was lacking in this game, and I highly expect this OST to become a regular in my playlist lineups. But I also want to take a moment to gush about the presentation of Soul Hackers 2. Like, yeah, the UI is strong, it was very well laid out, very flashy, I loved it, and I prefer it over a number of the other SMT universe games, but the character designs by Shiro Miwa, they just landed so well. I've been a major fan of his ever since I fell in love with the 7th Dragon series. Even before playing that game, I was drawn to his energetic character designs. Like legit, Ringo, Milady, Saizo, and Ash, they just look friggin' iconic. Good golly, I love it and can't get enough of it. And similar to how I think the Devil Survivor series made such a mark on me with the character designs, I just love how unique Soul Hackers 2 is. Anyone is immediately able to pick out these characters and know what game they're from. And in a series where you have to compete with some of the all-time greats in gaming art, that's an accomplishment all of its own. Performance. Yeah, the game runs great. The load screens weren't of any concern or issue throughout the game, and I had literally no performance dips throughout my time in the game. I did run the game on performance mode, but I always do that. Looks gorgeous and the colors just really pop, smooth animations, and they were just a joy to experience. And seeing some of the retro old school demon designs get an upgraded look was excellent. Big ol' shout out to you, Turbo Granny, looking fine. Now we're getting to the real juice of Soul Hackers 2. Gameplay and power progression. Good night is this game addictive. Like legit, I just no-life this sucker and I haven't been able to put it down. Extremely approachable and beginner friendly. The UI design just makes quest tracking and planning out your play sessions much easier. Now, you begin the game and you'll be introduced to soul hacking. Essentially what this does is it opens up a mind palace of sorts for each of your party members, and as you play the game and you get closer to them through dialogue options, or maybe finding items that you're able to open up hangout events where you can go and grow closer to them, you'll be able to delve further into their mind palace or soul matrix. In the soul matrix, you will gain access to a layered dungeon that houses just about every recruitable demon in the game, and progressing through this unlocks party members to have extremely beneficial bonuses to combat and exploration that are just mandatory for conquering the game. Ringo will also unlock command skills and passive buffs that bring one of the best power gains in all of the game. For anyone who is new to the Devil Summoner SMT series, your party is comprised of Devil Summoners. When you enter a dungeon, Ringo's going to dispatch the demons that she's recruited out into the dungeon. And they're going to go out and search, and you're going to find them located as you explore the dungeon. This doesn't necessarily impact anything, but as you run around and get into encounters and defeat demons, you'll come across the demons you've recruited in the dungeon. When you talk to your demons, they will give you quest items or just consumables for combat, but very importantly, they will find demons that you can recruit. This pool of recruitable demons is determined by the demons that you've been fighting throughout the dungeon. Want to recruit a certain demon? Just go and talk to your own demons in the dungeon that you've been fighting that particular demon in. Now, longtime fans of the series will know that recruiting demons can be pretty frustrating at times, but Soul Hackers 2 brings such a massive quality of life in that the demon is just going to ask you for one thing. It may be some of your health, magic points, money, or items, but once you agree to their demands, you will have them instantly join your team, assuming you have space in your roster for new demons. Extremely approachable, and a major reason I think Soul Hackers 2 does an incredible job of introducing new players to the mechanics and systems of other Megaton games. With these demons, you are then able to assign them to your party members of Devil Summoners. What this does is enable the party member they've been assigned to cast all of the spells that that demon has access to, and also adopt their affinities in battle. So as you obtain quests and grow closer to your party members, you will in turn grow your demon roster. With these demons, you'll eventually be able to unlock the iconic fusion system, which has been streamlined for new players. This is where you'll be able to take 2 or more demons and combine abilities and spells to forge an unstoppable team of Devil Summoners to take on the apocalypse. The recommended section of Demon Fusion was always helpful and in accordance to the level I was at to keep me well equipped for the fights the game was sending my way. Along with your demon army, each party member has a comp that can be upgraded. Yes, this is a gun computer that can be upgraded to offer permanent stat bonuses and helpful modifiers to your spell to see one of the biggest power gains you can get. Was absurdly addicted to tricking these out, and the nerdy numbers part of my brain was very pleased. The dungeons in Soul Hackers do offer diversity in level design and layout, but that's kind of later in the game, and that will appeal heavily to dungeon crawler fans. But just a word of note that earlier in the game, there will be some similar looking dungeon layouts. But I found that the addictive gameplay loop and combat systems kept me hooked from start to finish in this game's approximately 40-hour runtime. Combat. Megaton has always had my favorite turn-based combat system, and Soul Hackers 2 takes the press turn battle system and offers a fresh iteration of it to play around with. Combat does incentivize you to build your team to have a diverse set of spells and abilities to cover any and all weaknesses that the enemy might have. Agi or fire spells are effective against Bufu or ice affinity demons, and vice versa. Now, the real spectacle of Soul Hackers 2 is that when you hit these weaknesses, then a stack is added to your Sabbath ability. At the end of each turn, the Sabbath stacks will be unleashed in a giant burst of damage on your enemies. And what is even more approachable to new fans is that this benefit is only offered to the main party. Really helpful to just kind of ease players into the risk-reward aspect of the SMT series. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about how this is approachable to new fans, but I do want to state that the difficulty sliders offer a great and balanced breadth of difficulty for those who are wanting a more classic challenge in the game. And the easier settings absolutely are geared towards those who are just kind of wanting to get their feet wet and kind of understand the ins and outs of the game. Soul Hackers 2 was a joy to play. And even though the story took me about 40 hours to get through, I still have a ton of challenges that I want to surmount in my second playthrough, so I'm going to go ahead and dip out and head back to that. Thank you all so much for watching my review of Soul Hackers 2. Are you picking it up? Have you played the original? Let me know down in the comments. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more Megaton and Soul Hackers 2 content. And until then, I'll see you all next time.